Disclaimer, somebody novice tackling this. I've noticed an issue with the front wheel because they're supposed to mount here, but there seems to be very little space in between this axle right here and the wheel. So what I've done is I've made a contraption as such with this part and this one right here, which is actually supposed to go on top, but I've flipped it around so that I can mount it from the top side of it. It's a bit ugly because I'm using green zip ties. That's the only thing that I had lying around, so I guess that will have to do. But yeah, this is the hacky part of the video, so I'm gonna try and get it in. So got 1, 2 there. There you go. Now the idea, I'm not sure if I should, yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is add another zip tie to kind of lock it in preliminarily while I tighten the rest. Again, super hacky, but I'm gonna cut it up to make it look a bit neater. So now I gotta see the bottom side how that looks. It's alright, I guess. Yeah. Works fine. I mean, ideally, if you have longer zip ties, that will be better as well. The Acid does come with a few zip ties, black ones, but they weren't long enough. So I'm gonna attempt to pull the zip ties tight at the moment, which you might not be able to see. All right, those zip ties are tied up. Pull these. All right, so what I gotta do now, just gonna tie these in as such, just to tidy it up a bit. Kind of reminds me of that old Japanese cartoon, the guy with the motorcycle, I don't know what he's called. But yeah, if anybody has a better idea on how to tackle this, I would love to hear it. Let me show you a closer look at what I've got. So I have zip ties right there, leading all the way down. And I have this part that you get as part of the kit, wrapping around that way with more zip ties. So now I'm gonna cut this up to tidy it up. And as you see, there's at least a little bit more space in between, because having this underneath would have been a huge problem. So as you can see, this is how it's meant to go, but I did it the other way around. Just got my little clipper here to clip, make sure they're tight. Let's start from the bottom. First one down, then make sure these are tightens once more. Clip. All right. Doesn't look too great, but should do the job for now. So the next thing that I want to do is install this thing right here, which will act as a spacer, keeping the mudguard at a fixed distance from the shock absorbers. Let me show you real quick. At the back of the mudguard, there is another part that you can install that acts as a clip, and this is designed to hold this part of this metal rod. And then we have these, I don't know how you call these, but these front huggers, I would say. Or somebody who knows the name of these, let me know down in the comment. Which will wrap around the shock absorbers, and we'll be able to insert these metal rods inside and tie them up with some of these screws. So some bikes will have a mount, and you get a part like this in which you can attach it to, and then attach the rod to this little thing. But because we don't have that design into the bike, we'll be using this one right here. So in order to cut this metal rod, we'll need to know the distance first, and then once I got a size in, let's see if I can get it through without breaking it. So I'm just gonna mark that where I think it is with a little bit of wiggle room so that I can play around with it. So yeah, we'd want to cut the same distance on each side. I'm gonna mark that as well. I know I have a measuring tape, but we're doing it like this. All right. So I'll be making a little indent first, just to act as a guide for the bolt cutter. There we go. All right, that should be enough. And I have a piece of cloth right here so that the metal shards don't go anywhere. Line it up, close it up. And there we have it. Didn't cut all the way through, so I'm gonna cut it from another angle. Make sure to cover it, just in case it flies. And the other side, here we go. Oh, see what I mean? That one would have flown away. Now we gotta make sure to discard of these. Put that here for now. So funny that I grabbed the measuring tape but decided not to use it. Is what it is. Make sure we don't lose these, and let's try and install. So here we are clipping it on as such, easy peasy. Let's get it in and let's see. I think that's about the right distance. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Has an equal distance from the top also to the bottom here. So we grab a screw. We'll need an Allen key for this. That one's too big, too small. It's always a search. I think this is the one. No. Slightly too big. It's obviously too small. Come on, is it this one? Nope.
A few moments later.
There we go. That's the size we want. So the M3 or M2 goes in the back here. I'm gonna hold it, do a little preliminary twist and tighten it up as such. Now this also comes with these rubber bands, which you can install as such. It's designed with a really nice lever right here, so you can pinch the fingers onto it. Very nice design actually. And pull it tight as such. There we go. Nice and snug. So now we're going to do the other side. Nice. Perfect. Front mudguard installed. If anybody down in the comments have a solution for this, please let me know. Now it's time for the back. So the rear mudguard is going to be a little bit more complicated. We have this right here. Let me pack it out so we know what we're working with. All right, lots of bolts and nuts. Nuts.
Nice.
So these are meant to go on top of the mudguard as such, for which I'll need to make custom holes for that. So I'll need to take my drill out. And the top of these will stick to the bottom of these two things, like so. Let's bore some holes, but first we're gonna put this thing on, and this is supposed to go right here. As you can see, the Cube thought about the design of this, and they've got it covered. So I'll be installing that, but I think in order to do that, I'll need to take off the wheel. Here we go. I think doing this without the wheel is easier. Not all too sure if we can even do this without. So I'm guessing that this is why we have the Phillips screws. But yeah, if you want to invest, definitely get one of these. So you have all the screws, almost all the screws available to you. At least this is a collection of Phillips screws. Not sure if these are called Phillips screws, but star screws and your regular screws. Maybe the regular screws are called Phillips, but yeah, whatever. Let's install these. Nice and snug. So this little thing goes inside here, and that will help hold this screw in place, which is then attached to this right here. This will act as extra support for the mudguard underneath. So let's measure where the holes should be. This is where I want my first hole, somewhere around here. Am I going to risk it? Yeah, just do it by feeling. So I know it's at the 21 mark. Perfect. Right, so let's put the first one in. So this whole thing goes inside as such. Make sure before you put it in that the nut is in as well. But that will help hold the nut in place, so that when you do this, put this thing through. You'll need a different type of Allen key for this. I should have thought about that. So we put that through, and well, this is a messy video, but yeah, it is what it is, guys. Like I said, not a professional. Very messy DIY with shit all around. Nope. Need a bigger one. I'm gonna pre-twist this all the way through so that it's nice and exposed for here. Put it in and screw it shut. Nice and snug. Alright, first step done. Now let's do the rest. But I wanted to be sure where the holes are for this.
Let's pause for a second. I'm about to make a huge mistake right here. But as you can see right here, the problem is that my rear rack was not leveled at this point. So I end up making two holes that are completely in the wrong place. But I thought I'd leave the mistake in the video anyway, so that we can learn from it. Alright. Have fun continuing watching. Fuck me, man.
And let's see how I mark it best. Perfect. My pencil is not sharp at the moment. So this is a trick that my dad taught me. If you ever need to sharpen a pencil, you can also grave it as such. Something that always will stay with me. Thanks, Dad. So what I want to do now is I've got the top mark, but I want to screw from the bottom instead. Very scientific here. Yeah. The 45. Are you sure about that? Yep. Just gonna mark that first, and then we have this one right here, which we'll mark somewhere there, and we've marked it as the middle point here. So now that we have these marked, I'll be crossing my fingers and boring. Alright. Uh-oh. That's what you get when you do it through the eye, I guess. Should be alright. I think we're Gucci. Alright. So now, let's get the metal support finally in place with a trusty Allen key. There we go. And this one I have to fry in, because that one will come later. Perfect. Perfectly aligned. Final steps for the mudguard. Rear mudguard. You know what? I think I made a mistake, but let's see if I get lucky, because now I realize that I shouldn't have made the holes before I knew that the whole construction was leveled. So this thing is movable, but it should be alright, right? Oh man, so it could go back here. Let's just see, because now it's tilted. Oh, fuck, that's where it's supposed to go. Well, good that you learn from your mistakes, guys. So this is actually where we want the support to be. So yeah, I'll need to adjust that. Okay, but then we have 2 holes in our mudguard, which is sad, but there must be a way to cover it in the future. So, huge mistake made, but it's alright. So, we want to get this right here lined up. I have a piece in between. Want that to align. Just drop that. So, what you want to do is grab the screw down there and screw the bolt through there that I show you. We're screwing it as I'm holding it. I feel it clip in. So now it's tightening up. Perfect. Perfect. So now we're gonna measure this one right here, and I'm gonna do this with the bolt this time. The bolt now measured where I should drill, and we'll be drilling blind. This is not the channel where you wanna get things done precise. For that you'll need to do somewhere else. But yeah, let's see. Alright, here we go. Let's bring it back up. Got a bolt. So put this here. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but as you can see, it goes through right there. Get your M6 or M5 bolt and tighten it up just as such. So now, in order to tighten that, you would want to have a wrench, but I'm not sure if I have a wrench for that size specifically. Oh, what I could do is perhaps use one of these. It doesn't have it. I'll just hold it with this wrench right here, not the exact tool for it, but it will do the job. So I'm just holding down the bolt so that it doesn't spin along as I tighten it, and this should help me secure the construction. And there we go. So that's screwed in. Got it going. Now we can pop the wheel back in finally. And voila, perfect. Now we see where we're at. That's way better. So as you can see, the mistake that I made was right here, where I drilled the holes without thinking first. So I hope you learned from my mistakes. This is not too bad of a problem. I think I'll need to get like some hole plugs of sorts. Maybe this will leave some opportunity for me to add some accessories. The front mudguard is also in place. Very hacky, but in the end we made it work. I'm a little bit annoyed, to be honest, with all the mistakes that I made. But yeah, it is what it is. You learn as you go. And I hope that this video makes you learn to read the manual. Oh yeah, what a sad day. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.